Everyone thought they knew exactly what was happening that afternoon. But the truth was nothing like what the police imagined. And the little girl trying to save him? No one believed her, not until it was already too late. It was a bright afternoon outside Willow Creek Elementary. The sun was sharp, the sidewalk crowded with kids running to their parents, and cars lined up bumper to bumper. Everything looked normal until a black luxury SUV rolled toward the pickup zone. Inside the car, Marcus Reed, a calm and disciplined black chauffeur in a clean suit, checked the rearview mirror. In the back seat, little Emily Carter kicked her feet excitedly. She always loved when Marcus picked her up. He wasn't just her driver, he was her protector, her favorite person outside her family. But the crowd outside noticed something different. A few parents whispered. A teacher narrowed her eyes, and someone quietly muttered, "He doesn't look like he belongs to that girl." Marcus parked exactly where he always did. Emily opened the door with a smile, ready to jump into his arms like she did every day. But before she could even reach him, two police officers rushed toward the car. "Sir, step away from the vehicle," one yelled. Marcus froze, confused. "Officer, is everything all right?" But they didn't listen. Parents turned their heads. Kids stopped walking. A hush fell over the pickup zone as the officers grabbed Marcus by the arm. Emily gasped. "Wait, wait! He's with me!" she cried, her voice shaking. But the officers talked over her, louder and firmer. "Ma'am, step back. We're handling a possible abduction." Emily's face crumpled. "No! He's not taking me. He's picking me up." Still, they ignored her. One officer dragged Marcus away from the car, forcing his hands behind his back. Marcus didn't resist. He didn't want to scare Emily even more. But the shock in his eyes said everything. He had no idea what was happening or why. People around started filming with their phones. Some whispered things like, "Finally, they caught him." Others just watched silently, not knowing the truth. Emily kept screaming, tears running down her face. "Stop, please! That's my driver. He works for my family." But the officers acted like she wasn't even there, like her voice didn't matter, like they had already decided who Marcus was. One officer leaned close to Marcus and said, "Kidnapping a child from school? Really? Not smart." Marcus's heart pounded. "Officer, you're making a mistake. Save it." Emily tried again, pulling on one officer's sleeve, her voice cracking. "He's not kidnapping me. He picks me up every day. Please listen, please." But the officer gently pushed her back toward the crowd. "Sweetie, you're scared. Let us handle this." The little girl's face twisted with frustration. "No, you don't understand." A teacher tried to approach, but even she seemed unsure. "Emily, are you sure he's—" "Yes!" Emily shouted. "He's mine! He's with me!" But her words were swallowed by the growing crowd and the rising tension. The officers moved Marcus toward the patrol car. Parents whispered. Kids stared. And Emily stood alone, crying in the sunlight, watching the only person who always protected her get taken away. She didn't know what else to do, except call the one person who would listen. The one person powerful enough to stop all of this. With shaking hands, she grabbed her phone, took a deep breath, and whispered, "Dad, you need to come now." They took Marcus. The energy around her shifted instantly. Fear turned into determination, because she knew something the officers didn't, something that would change everything. The moment the little girl screamed, everything on that sidewalk froze. Her tiny palms slammed against the window as she yelled, "Stop! Let him go! He's my driver!" But the officers were already pinning the man against the cruiser, one gripping his shoulders, the other reaching for cuffs. People around them whispered. Phones came out. Some recorded. Some judged. Some didn't know what to think. The black driver, Marcus, didn't resist. He just kept repeating calmly, "Please don't scare the child. She's only 8. His voice shook, not from fear, but from heartbreak. Because he'd been here before. Misjudged, profiled, dismissed. Inside the car, the little girl, Lily, was sobbing uncontrollably. Her face turned red as she pushed the door with all her strength, finally bursting out and running toward Marcus. She clung to his leg like it was the only safe place she knew. That's when a deep voice thundered across the parking lot. "Unhand my employee, now!" Everyone turned. A tall man in a charcoal suit stepped out of a black SUV, surrounded by two other security personnel. His presence changed the air. People recognized him instantly. Alexander Grant, CEO of Grant Technologies, one of the richest men in the country, and the father of the crying little girl. The officers exchanged a nervous glance. Grant moved with quiet rage, controlled, but lethal. He knelt beside his daughter, wiping her tears gently, then stood straight and faced the officers. "I pay this man 6 figures a year to protect my family. He served 12 years in the Special Forces. He saved my daughter's life last year, and you assaulted him in broad daylight." His voice never rose, but every word felt like a blade. One officer tried to explain, "Sir, we thought—" She was crying. "We assumed—" Grant held up his hand sharply. "You assumed because of how he looks." Silence. The crowd kept recording. The officers lowered their eyes, the weight of their mistake sinking in. Grant stepped closer to Marcus, placing a respectful hand on his shoulder. "Are you hurt?" Marcus shook his head, but his eyes shimmered. Finally seen, finally defended. Lily hugged him tighter. Grant turned back to the officers. "Apologize to him, not to me." The officers swallowed hard, stepping forward. "Sir, Marcus, we're sorry. We misread the situation. Truly." Marcus simply nodded, not one to humiliate someone even after what they did. Grant exhaled, half relief, half anger held inside. Then he said something nobody expected. "Marcus isn't just my driver. He's family, and family deserves respect." Lily nodded fiercely through her tears. "Yeah, he saved me." Grant picked her up, then looked at Marcus with gratitude only a father could understand. "Let's go home," he said softly. They walked toward the SUV together, billionaire, soldier, and daughter, while the officers watched silently, realizing they hadn't just misjudged a man, they almost traumatized a child, and insulted someone more honorable than they'd ever know. As the SUV doors closed and they drove away, one thing remained clear. Sometimes the richest person in the story is the one who never needed money to prove his worth.